And on the 10th day of Christmas, Pronogo gave to thee a brand new TvT. It's not actually brand new, it was played in the middle of November, and it's on the current release patch. And I figured we would showcase this as it's the Shambler taking on Shopkeeper Dog on one of his own maps. Shambler's maps, that is. I don't think Dog makes maps, but he should. Oh, check it out. It's Santa coded. I love it. Shopkeeper Dog will be our, is it just straight up blue Terran in the top left? I feel like this is going to be one of those other ones, right? Based on the color, but I'm going to say blue Terran. He is blue. And the Mo-Man, aka Shambler, he is our white Terran in the top right. Blue versus white. And Santa makes it red, so red, white, and blue, so America, and so on and so forth. But I don't know what's going on here in the discussion. I guess. This is going way back, right? They're talking about the preview of Ramen and being better than Ayud is pretty funny. Especially since how the tournament went. But some secret chat logs being leaked here. This is some TvT. Shambler and Shopkeeper Dog going for Fulcrum opening. And I was just about to have a sip of relaxing, exciting coconut pineapple water, but it's frozen, guys. It's got ice in it. I don't know what to do about that, so instead I'll drink my other drink, which I have here is a tropical punch. So tropically punching Shambler in his face with let me see if I can roll to hit, because he's been playing D&D with all of us, with Three Crow, with my brother, with Luciferius, and soon Balethal and Alexander are joining. It's going to be a great time. If you can't tell by now, I'm much more laid back in the aftermath of the tournament. As far as the commentary goes, we're having a good time here. And this is one of the last games that I think we'll be casting in immediate history or what have you in the old patch, right? The release patch. We will be taking a look at a preview of some pre-release changes. I was actually going to be casting a match between Hamster and Ayud64 that they played on a version of pre-release right after the tournament was over. And so I thought that would have been pretty neat to take a look at, but the replay was not functional. Maybe I'll leave an unlisted link to the video up until that point so that you guys can check out what I was talking about and some of the changes. If you're a hardcore viewer and you really want to watch that. So there'll be a double feature here for those interested. But other than that, yeah, we're just kind of chilling here. We're just kind of talking about Cosmonarchy. And what a year it's been, right? It's been quite a bit of movement, of growth. We've seen a lot of interesting play and a lot of interesting changes to the game overall. A couple vultures coming up for both of our Terran players here, and the Talos is on the way because the quarry exists. Now, Shopkeeper Dog does not believe in the quarry. He did use it once in battlements, actually, so after this game was played, I believe. I can't remember the exact date. It's all a blur. But going triple fulcrum on one base? No, of course not. It's Shopkeeper Dog. He has a second base already on the way. He does like his very optimized build orders, I've noticed. Also, I never took that sip, so I'm going to do that now while reminding you guys that if you want more things for me to sip on in the middle of castovers, you can do that. You can make that happen. You just need to donate via the coffee link. If you've enjoyed Cosmonarchy this year and you got a little bit extra Christmas cash to splash, well, we would appreciate the coffee link, of course. We always do appreciate those donos. And they do go towards project development, sometimes prize pools or mapping events, and of course, many other things. We got big plans for the next year, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. So, halfway complete on the star pad. We've got plenty of blackjacks to boot. Blackjacks did get adjusted in the new version of pre-release, so if you're tired of seeing the blackjack, well, you might not see it going forward, but you'll probably see it be a little bit less efficient because they did get a bit of a cut to their DPS. What is their DPS? 17 and a half almost. Yeah, pretty good DPS, as you might have guessed. They got a slight attack speed nerf, and they have 1 armor instead of 2, so Cyprians will penetrate them. Could this be the new meta? Well, the Vultures are just going to go ahead and confirm where the Shambler's army is, and that there's no ministry, at least there. There's actually a treasury coming. That's interesting. The Trojan is going to be on the way for the Cyclops drop. Now, did the Cyclops get caught when the Vultures were moving through? I did not really clock whether or not the Cyclops were commingled with the army. I thought I heard them shoot. So I feel like they probably would have been noticed. Shopkeeper Dog going for his own star pad now, and he's got a Phalanx out. Interesting. I mean, he's not really guarding for the very short distance vertically. So I'm curious, you know, the horizontal distance, rather, is very, very short here. So the 3 Cyclops drop is going to hit pretty soon. What's the reaction here? He's only now paying attention. He does pull the workers away. That's pretty smart. Pretty quick reactions there. You know, the Mason will probably die trying to build a star pad. No, actually, Dog is saved from that fate. Ah, using the cliff advantage. He put that ridge there just for that, you know? I think this might be the same map that we saw Hamster play against Shambler on a while ago. Blackjacks are very, very, I would say, middling at best when we see the Cyclops versus Blackjack armor matchup. Despite the extra armor for the Cyclops there, or sorry, for the Blackjack there, it still ends up not working out too well for him. He's got a lot of Talos. He's got a lot of Stockades coming too. What's this guy doing? What are you doing? Says the Shambler. That's his character name as well. We do have the Phalanx coming out here, rocking and rolling. We're up to 3 now for our doggy, and he is going to go ahead and bark and put down a watchdoggy as well. So he's definitely working that out. For those who don't know, the Watchdog is the new missile turret. It's kind of like the old missile turret, except it can lift off. It's a novel technology. We'll change its model later as well. Dead even on the worker count, but of course with this quarry coming to life here and a little bit of harassment in favor of the Shambler, that's pretty much what allowed that to happen. Dog will start to stretch ahead in terms of workers, I think. The Vulture gets in deep enough to see that, yeah, you've set this base up by now, and also catch the composition of what the Shambler's got. Trojan with 3 Cyclops just scouting around, it looks like, or maybe taking an alternative route to the enemy base. This map is very tall and also kind of thin, I feel like, you know? It must be like 96 tall or 96 wide and like 128 tall maybe. Maybe even a bit more than that tall. It's interesting size. I do like the little line of, you know, firing squad of Blackjacks. And he's even got 2 left over here. I don't know if that's intentional, but yeah, that Trojan is probably going to end up dying if Mr. Shambler is not careful. Yeah, there it goes. Absolutely bodied. And no casualties were had from Dog side sans 1 singular Blackjack. So that secondary harassment not really working out. When players use the harassment move without really having some kind of counter push available, it's much less efficient, right? Because you got to think about it like, if I'm going to send a drop at somebody, but I'm not taxing their awareness or their attention in any other way, it drastically minimizes how significant the impact of my drop is going to be, because they will be able to use all of their attention that they're not using on macro and stuff to immediately respond to the threat. Whereas if I'm attacking them, even with like an army that's not trading cost efficiently, it's still going to pull their attention away. They're still going to micro their units a little bit, reposition, etc., etc. So I feel like that's a little thing that Shambler could use to improve his capacity for winning fights. Is if he wants to incorporate drops, he should probably be at the front trying to do stuff like that as well. We actually saw this kind of thing happen. Hit 'em up versus AUD64 Game 2 on Demaloon. That was a TvT where that kind of thing happened. Hit 'em up was threatening an attack and also having the drop happen at the same time. A pretty good quintessential example of that happening that I can immediately pull. Now, the Ant-Seals are the only thing here that the Shopkeeper Dog has for anti-burst, and you can actually say the same about the Shambler. There's no sustain going on for either player right now, but the Phalanxes are a key difference maker in this fight, as they will just shellac the Blackjacks. What is the counter that the Shambler is preparing? It looks like it'll be Harakan Eidolon. Instead of doing any of that, Shopkeeper Dog is just going to go straight to tier 2, and now he's going to continue the push through. He hasn't lost an Ant-Seal yet. You can see Shambler occasionally trying to focus those down, but every time the Phalanxes shoot, the Blackjacks die. So he does have to retreat with a paltry force of 8 Blackjacks, including 1 wounded one. He'll sync up with the 5 others that he's got, plus the bio and a couple more units streaming out of his main. He is building more Ant-Seals over time. The tier 2 is helpful for Dog, and he has the Phalanxes to just kind of bully the composition out, right? So it's kind of, I would say, maximally difficult here for the Shambler to win this fight. It looks like this will just end up being the mech-fueled death push, plus he's got tier 2 behind it. Oh, boy. So only a few Blackjacks remaining. Of course, the Eidolon softened up as well. We got a couple of Harakans. We got the Anchors that, of course, the Phalanxes are going to be just fine at dealing with. Yeah, I don't really see how Shambler's going to survive this one. It's looking a little bit rough for our Shamble man here. All right, he's going to go ahead and see about unloading and pushing forward, but there's the shellacking of those phalanxes. And there it goes. Even the Eidolons in the anchor getting shellacked as well because the extra shots damaging them as soon as they exit. A couple of ministry walls, or a ministry and a stockade wall at the third base, but tier 2 is done for Shopkeeper Dog. And again, walling and structures and stuff, the phalanxes are kind of like really, really good at dealing with that. There's a lot of money in the bank for the Shambler. He could definitely be spending his money, I think, a little bit better. He's going to float the stockade, see if he can't intercept some of the DPS onto those blackjacks. There it goes. There goes that wall in particular. And this will reveal the third base, the existence of it. It's not really approachable with regards to the phalanxes. The single madrigal also helps to deal with the ant seals very well. He might be trying to like distract the shots of the phalanxes, but the stockades do not do enough there. Yeah, okay, Shambler's trying to set up for maybe like one of those Nabline-based surrounds, but his units coming in from the southern flank are not going to be hitting in time, and okay, he just quits with no GG. That is a classic Shambler move. He's realized he's boxed into a corner, and he's fuck sword, as the kids might say. Let's check out what happens behind game number 2 here, because I feel like that's just a little bit too fast of a video for my channel. We're back, and it's the same map, and also, somewhat paradoxically, the same spawns for both of our players. The Shambler will continue to be the white Terran in the top right. While Shopkeeper Dog, he looks like he is... This is either Cosmic Cobalt or Delft Blue, and every time I've guessed Delft Blue, I've been wrong. So I'm going to guess Delft Blue. Oh, it's Dark Sapphire. So I was wrong on both accounts. Yeah, I guess Cosmic Cobalt is probably a bit brighter, isn't it? All right, well, I'll try to remember that, but Dark Sapphire happens so rarely. Shambler going to open Stockade versus Shopkeeper Dog, who always opens mech. He always makes a fulcrum first. He's very seldom a dog, I was going to say a man, but a dog that would ever build the pedestrian plebeian stockade. That is beneath him. He's a dog. He likes to chase cars, and the closest thing to cars are vultures. Apparently, Hellions are called cars in Starcraft 2. I feel like Hellions are really quite boring units. I do like their line trace attack, I guess. But from a design standpoint, visual design, yeah, the fact that they are basically cars, I don't know. There's something about that that bisects my suspension of disbelief that you'd have cars in the game. Now, I say this as somebody who made the Southpaw, which is like a futuristic hover car design that's been retrofitted by pirates into something that can do splash damage. So maybe I'm a hypocrite, or maybe I've got a cool lore reason why that's a thing. And we do have an anchor on the low ground here, and the Stammed Maverick is going to have a hell of a time catching that Mason. Hopped up on drugs. He will not let this man live. Oh my god. He could have just waited for the cliff, but he didn't want to. He wanted more drugs. An absolute drug-fueled maniac. Drug-addled lunatic. That's the quote from my youth. Not about me, but about some Scotsmen who may or may not wear an actual dress and not just a kilt. People on the internet are weird. All right, so we do have the Talus coming out here for the Shambler. After making that quarry, he'll be making his money back over time. Spend money to make money. That's the Shambler's motto. Meanwhile, the Shopkeeper Dog's living by that motto a different way with his faster ministry. And the Scrapyard into the second Fulcrum means that he's scouted the composition of his opponent, and he kind of knows, all right, you aren't going to be able to threaten me. I got my mines. I got my 2 vaults. Time to power up. Now, Talus is going to go ahead and arrive here at the... I don't know if this would be considered a third base or not, but it is a base. In fact, the design of there to be 4 bases so close to your opponent by air distance is kind of interesting. You do have this little area that kind of reminds me of Aegis, which is a map by Veek 7, that little thin path, but also kind of neat to see stuff like that going on. What else do we have here? This is some more antics, more silliness, more craziness. Yeah, overall, I would say this map looks like the biggest struggle will be the choke point. I mean, it's been shortened and tight-traded since the first time we saw this map, but I do think the biggest struggle will be the fairly lengthy distance from your main to your ramp to your nat to your choke. Like, the distance between those is maybe a bit scaled up, but the distance between you and your opponent is not very large. The ground-based rush distance is very short, I would say. But so far we haven't seen TvT rushes, so, you know, big surprise perhaps. He scouts in just deep enough to see the Ministry. Loses a Vulture for it. Sees what's going on. The Treasury was also made right in his face, so he might expect that that's going to make a Lodestone or something. Lodestones are add-ons that act like anchors, but they also provide detection. And they, crucially, I think as an interesting thing, they also provide the ability to, if you lift off the Treasury afterwards and fly somewhere else, the Lodestone still operates, which is pretty neat. Saturation level is about the same for both players. Although I will, again, remind you that the Ministry you'll hear only just now finished. We'll see what the Treasury ends up operating on. If it does anything at all, besides make itself a wall. There it is. Oh, excuse me. I'm settling in for a nice, comfy TvT. Lodestone is about a quarter of the way complete now. Star pad for both players. Right? I didn't hallucinate that. There's a star pad. No. Okay, never mind. Not yet for Shambler. I'll make one later. Star pad just for Shopkeeper Dog, who used to be anti-Anseal. And now, his favorite unit is the Anseal. Shopkeeper Dog is quite a bit of a... I guess Troll would be too... non-specific. He's a very sardonic figure, I would say. He does a lot of sarcasm, a lot of dry humor. You know, he's ironic, deeply ironic individual. You know, if that's not an example of what you can get from the modern day dog. I was going to say man, but American dog. For a second, I thought American Dog was like a TV show, but that's American Dad. There is a dog that talks, but that's Brian from Family Guy. Is there a dog in American Dad? There's an alien. Does the alien talk to a dog? I don't know, but I feel like all those shows are also deeply ironic, so it kind of fits. Watchdoggy for the Shambler, trying to watch his dog. You watch your dog, but do you walk your dog? Shopkeeper Dog has walked forward with his phalanxes. Is he probably going to be attempting a siege? But it will depend on whether or not Shambler can try to contest this with the Eidolons. He's going to step forward and immediately get absolutely evaporated. He's going to... okay, interesting. Okay, I see. He's putting the Eidolons in there. So they don't quite outrange the phalanxes, but there is like a magic timing, and every time Shambler steps forward, he is just annihilated. There you go. They just need the vision on those anchors to see what's going on. There is actually an Eidolon out here, out in plain view. It could be hopping into the anchor if it wanted to. There's the repairs coming out from the Talos. Okay, what now? The stalemate has been achieved. One of the phalanxes was killed. Now, Dog is going to move forward. There's a lot of repairs coming out here. He needs to be able to focus down the anchor. That is actually has less HP than the Lodestone. And there you go. It will end up going down. Anseals do provide detection onto the Eidolons, remember? He's not killing the... Okay, he is slowly killing the Taloses. They do repair really fast. So you can see here the Talos, repairing the Lodestone full of Eidolons, 100%. Efficient at clearing out this position. At the same time, the Treasury getting heckled a little bit there. All right, so Shopkeeper Dog is going to need to fall on back. There is a mine out here that will provide him a little bit of power. Instead, he just waits for the Anseal and then tries to pinch those Eidolons out. But Blackjacks and Phalanxes do not move the quickest, the most nimble. Now we can see this Treasury is going to go ahead and get pressured by the Blackjacks. The Anseal should probably be over here so it can spot if Eidolons are moving forward and try to help. When I see that Anseal move out, I'm thinking, oh, you're just going to let me snipe this low HP Phalanx? Well, you shouldn't have. But that's just me. Shambler busy macroing, busy doing important things that I would probably not. Although I say that, he's got 1,400 minerals and rising. Definitely could be spending that a little bit more. Back at home for Shopkeeper Dog, he hasn't been idle during this entire experience. He's adding 2 ministries and has added some more fulcrums as well. So he is going up to a much higher amount of production, and he has enough money to soon consider going for the ever-important Tier 2. A couple of these anchors going to get peppered down and forced to lift off before they can really be useful. It doesn't look like Shambler was paying too much attention to that. So he is going to end up losing that. His stockade count is rising, and he's just kind of throwing them everywhere. Every which way. More units rallying across. Shopkeeper Dog keeping up on the worker production. Not really, actually. Shambler is out macroing him when it comes to workers. But, I mean, if you get 4 ministries operating and they're all doing stuff, yeah, that could be a difference maker for sure. I think Shopkeeper Dog should identify this phalanx position and just try to line the phalanxes up like that so that they can all attack. He's going to be draining some minerals, but as we can see, Shambler has a lot of minerals to spare. A Trojan coming for Shopkeeper Dog. He will be going for a drop as he attempts to take sort of like the lower of the interior 11 o'clock bases. Yeah, interior 11 as opposed to exterior 11. Maybe we'll call that 11-2 as opposed to 11-1. This is 11-1. This is 11-2. All right. Glad we had that conversation. This is goofy. All right, so as more and more units are moving across, the second Trojan has begun. Construction. Ministry is starting to make the masons. He's still down 20 workers. Like, this is a very, very steep economic mountain to climb, but he'll have access to more Vespi, and he can throw down his tier 2 whenever he so desires. There is a horde of Masons and Taluses down here, harvesting a little bit of extra resources, and that's from a neutral treasury. It looks like this is going to go ahead and construct a ministry on location, and this is probably going to construct a ministry on location there. So the lower section of the map is not an island. You can go there by land, but I don't think Shopkeeper Dog has even thought about it. This is the Aud strat of building hidden bases with Taluses. It's another ministry on location in the bottom left. All right. 9 o'clock being taken by Shopkeeper Dog. Looks like some of the blackjacks are going to get aggroed in here. That's a little bit unfortunate. And, you know, spreading the focus of the phalanxes is not a bad idea. He needs to get these phalanxes into the fight, right? Like, that's one problem over here. The anchor is going to go ahead and rise up. Now, we have a blackjack phalanx, 2 phalanx. Okay, so we have the Trojans earmarked over here. Now, Shambler has a very small area of, worry about when it comes to defense. So he's mostly just kept his army over here, which is pretty funny. There's the Atlas coming on down. And the Trojans are getting sniped. Oh, no, that wasn't the 2 phalanx one, but that was all the blackjacks. They're going to go ahead and deploy and hopefully try to splatter as many units as they can. Where's the targeting there from Dog? It doesn't look like he really does focus on any one particular target. Obviously couldn't see the Eidolons. So that gets caught. That's definitely going to allow Shopkeeper Dog to be broken later on in the match as far as this contain is concerned. And the Shambler is more than paying for his repair costs down here with this mineral harvest alone. Something that Shopkeeper Dog did not account for. I would say, generally speaking, his lack of making workers probably hurt him here. I don't know how he was so far behind in the worker count. I know that there was obviously the treasury made the quarry and such. Now, this is going to be a very difficult contain break. I don't think Shambler can do that. His Eidolons are going to get shellacked. The blackjack's going to clear the treasury as well. Oh, look at that. The anchor down here ends up just out of range. Well, that was short-lived, I guess. But still, that was kind of a cute move. Didn't end up getting focused down by Dog. Too much going on. All right. So at this point with the Atlas complete, what does Shopkeeper Dog want to do? He's going to go straight into a captaincy. See what else he wants to make. You know, if this was like an older school game, like Nabline was doing this or something, he'd probably start constructing sentinels out here. Who am I kidding? If it was Nabline or Mystery Meat, they would just rush to tier 3 and make diadems. Some rallied units are just being wasted here. You know what? Ahmed is always a good sight. Always a good sight. Another ministry. Another ministry. Another ministry. So that's 3 ministries coming online for the Shambler in to compensate or to complement what he's already got. This anchor going to go ahead and float to clear out that simple, measly force. Looks like the phalanxes, if they can get vision, yeah, there you go. He just needs enough phalanxes to one-shot the anchor. I think he has them all. He just needs to position them right. Finally, a fulcrum. 2 fulcrums to make blackjacks. Well, I guess I shouldn't say finally. They've been there like that for this time. Yeah, honestly, he's getting up there on the phalanx count. Look at this. His Mason has found the ministry in the bottom right. That gets canceled immediately. Dog is sending Mason scouts to all of the expansions and will now be attempting to clear those out with the blackjacks. It's a little bit late. Obviously, Shambler has been pseudo-contained for quite a while. So without those resources to look forward to, he is definitely disadvantaged. And, you know, the commandment coming, Tinker's Tower from the captaincy. That's an interesting choice. Don't normally see that. We'll see what tier 2 units... Oh, maybe he's going to go Sirens. I guess Sirens would work out pretty well here, actually, for the confirming the contain, so to speak. Sentinels are on the way, but I think the Masons building them are going to get bopped. Oh, no, actually, many of them should finish here. If Dog doesn't focus them down, that's going to be a problem for him. Oh, one of them does get canceled there. So only one of them is still alive. They're going to gather around it and try to repair it like hobos around a bum fire, as they say, in the middle of a barrel. Ministry is going to get shellacked from the side. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do too much there. One of the blackjacks will indeed be bopped. Ah, the poor Mason. All right, so that ministry is going to end up dying. Ah, the phalanxes have arrived. Okay. All right, there's a new king in town, and he does not give a shit about your range. I gotta make sure the blackjacks stay alive here because the Masons could otherwise just bum rush the phalanxes and then suddenly you're in deep doo-doo. He's gonna go for the repair. This is like Planetary Fortress, except without the weaponry. And I guess all of this stupid splash damage that kills like banelings, which if you don't kill them, they kill all your workers in one hit. Can you believe that Game Dominator, aka Dino Man, requested me to add a giant baneling to the game? Listen, dude, I'll do a lot for money. But you need a lot of money to make me consider that. So this base in the bottom right is gonna be taken out. We've got some Sentinel over here, but really not that much, right? And so if Shopkeeper Dog moves his forces down to the bottom left, that will 100% be a dead base. Sentinel leaving for greater pastures. We get a nice little sneak peek of the organ tile set over here. That's pretty cool. Maybe that's the exploring strange new lands, right? That could be the thumbnail right there. The TvT goes to a strange place as the Sentinel flies away from the carnage. All right, so, yeah, this is a containment for sure. We got some Wyverns coming for the Shambler. He has ascended to tier 2 in the interim with the gas, and he's capped his geysers as well. Where even is his Atlas? Oh, it's down here in the bottom right. Okay, well, bottom right of his main, I should say. Wyverns are going to be somewhat helpful. We do have some Striga coming, which, again, I thought it would be Sirens, and Sirens would probably help out versus the Wyverns a bit more. He still has not one-shot this anchor. I can't believe it. Oh, no. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. I can't believe he's just put 6 Talus on this anchor and decided, yeah, that's enough. This is some strange gameplay for sure. All right, Shopkeeper Dog is exterminating the Shambler's forces down here in this position. This will be the end of the income for the man. He will have to break out and win with the money and units that he has stockpiled. The last game was pretty one-sided in favor of Dog, with him just going straight for the mech push with phalanxes, proving that they are not a fake unit. I mean, just look at their range, dude. They're so good. All right, that's going to clear out all the Masons as they attempt to return. Now, there's a couple of them stuck in the bottom left. If Dog doesn't keep a couple of units garrisoned over here, that base could be reestablished later on. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book, probably courtesy of a Scatu Mask. Now, the Wyverns are going to move across the map. There's only 6 of them, and not really any defenses over here, right? No early warning system, no watchdogs. This base is getting a gas cap, but we are going to see the Masons get shellacked by the Wyvern damage. They can attack while moving, but they have to be facing their target. So in this kind of situation, it's ideal, but if they turn away, they're not going to be able to shoot well on the retreat, as you can see here, right? So that is going to result in an immediate response from Shopkeeper Dog, which is to, I guess, just try to use the Striga for that attack, but only one of them is not going to do the trick. They are melee range almost, so a lot more Masons are probably going to die. Yeah, Dog's army is enormous, and he's pulling almost all of it back to try to withstand the 6 Wyverns that have arrived, right? They don't attack air units. So if there were any Gorgons here, or Wraiths, anything of that sort, it would just kill them, right? So you can see here, Shambler doing his best to try to get some value out of these units, but he's running away from the enemy, so they're not going to be shooting. And 3 out of 6 of them do die. Now they're going to be arriving. No watchdogs were made in the interim period. No Seraph Irradiate is going to be good. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to do a cast over here that's going to work out because you're going to irradiate the mineral line, right? He gets a little bit of damage to soften up. Oh my god, he walks into his own Irradiate, erasering himself. I mean, it doesn't deal splash damage from the unit, so that doesn't really happen, but that's just funny. Okay, so Shopkeeper Dog has been thoroughly trolled by the Shambler's move. He will then have to deal with 6 more Wyverns coming in. He did not make any anti-air defenses. I guess he's making some madrigals. He did not make any watchdogs. He has not replenished his Mason count just yet, but he's trying to. And the Wyverns are just going to revisit their first kill, like true vultures, really. Like an airborne vulture, which is exactly what they are. Ah, I see the blackjacks have been cleared out from this position, using it to reestablish a base in the bottom left, perhaps. Although, it takes a lot of effort for Shambler to micro, so he's not going to be able to do too much else. Man, this game must also fill people with hope. If they see that these players were in, you know, the battlement stage and also the throne room stage later on for the Shambler. Yes, the Shambler had a better placement than Shopkeeper Dog, but Shopkeeper Dog did retroactively have the hardest group. He was up against the number 1 and number 2 of the tournament. Okay, we still don't have any Gorgons being made. Finally, we're going to get some Valks out, I guess. That's something. Valks probably need 300 bonus HP because they're that weak right now, but we'll see what we do with them. They'll at least deal with this. Slowly. Still no watchdogs. Shopkeeper Dog needs to make some watchdogs. Oh, doggy. His worker count has been abused. His soul has been abused. There's the irradiate. And then he just pulls away? Question mark? Oh, I see. His units are having a derp time. Okay, so I would say that indeed Shambler has a psychic victory here. Not a moral one, because this is very immoral. But a spiritual victory. There has been a spiritual collapse. Shopkeeper Dog will need to move across the map and end this man for once and for all. But now the Wyverns are massed up to attack the vulnerable phalanxes. Now, the Madrigals do exist. They do need to get out of their deployed mode and actually shoot them with the anti-air mode, but I don't know if Dog recognizes that just yet. There's the Radiate from the Seraph to zone the Wyverns away, right? Which is pretty cool. Oh, Shopkeeper Dog needs to be taking an active role in this position. He definitely needs to micro his units. He's losing a good number of them. But his Striga are out as well, so I guess that's something. So there's 9 of the Wyverns here. The Madrigal helps out a little bit, but yeah, you can see it's going to do a lot more efficient moves there when not deployed. There's many more of them back here, like 3 of them back there, 2 of them are deployed. That would also fix this, but you know, I think you can tell Dog is a bit fluffed. He's going for a Daedala, try to end this in tier 3. One of the Seraphs goes down to the Eidolon anchor that is immortal, because the Shopkeeper Dog has not just bit the bullet and moved forward with 12 phalanxes, deployed them in range, and killed them. They are pretty tanky boys. They'll survive. Striga are theoretically just going to charge the thing here. Of course, the splash damage from the Wyverns is helping them a little bit. Actually, I don't think they have enough armor pen to splash them, yeah. But still. It's the sound of the ghost death, the Eidolon death, but it should be something custom. I can't believe the Seraph has not, like, cast a Radiate a bunch more times or whatever. Oh my god, Dog, don't fall away. Just move forward. What are you doing, you goober, you little doggy, you goofball? Now I'm the one getting fluffed by watching it. He's just gonna fall away. He's I can't believe Shambler broke the contain, dude. That's so ass backwards and 100% should not have happened. The Madrigals were just kind of in the back, not doing anything. I think it's clear Dog was he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I don't care. he's not caring. Oh, I see. It was a gambit. It was a 500 IQ move to get Shambler out of his base. That mine from the beginning of the game finally not coming into play, getting attack moved immediately, as are the Seraphs. The Phalanxes are going to deploy. They're going to help clean the front line out, the ground units out. The Madrigals need to get onto these bad boys. We've got a couple of Reclaimers, but they get shellacked immediately. There's a single Goliath as well. The Blackjack's helping out quite a bit. Those Phalanxes need to deploy ASAP. And it doesn't look like the Madrigals have stayed alive, so the Wyverns are actually going to help out quite a bit. Ah, he has nothing to detect the Eidolons. I can't believe it. He actually calls GG. No! Oh, Shambler won that game. That is vile and disgusting, and I need to go back to dreaming. Well, if you like what you saw, you're a fucking sick person and should probably be brought to an institution. And that institution is the No Frauds Club Discord server. Join us to witness hopefully better games in the future. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more games of Cosmonarchy. Most of the TvTs are not like that. I'm saddened by the fact that Shambler uploaded that set. That was vile, and I need to go ahead and take a shower, even though I just did that before recording this set. So, filth, of course. We'll be back with more casts soon, so stay tuned.